I don't believe in writer's block. It doesn't exist. In the Matrix film, Neo was beginning to understand his new powers that he could wield within the program, but he was still somewhat stuck trying to master the new reality that his eyes had been open to. Real quick before I move on, I am going to ask you to right now go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and that way more of what I'm making will continue to be pushed to you as I make it. Also, it just helps me support me as YouTube responds to this fact that, hey, people actually like this guy and they will showcase this to more people. So I'd really appreciate that. Back to the Matrix. Neo was awakened and he was given these new abilities and powers. He had the ability to literally just download kung fu to his brain and his body would respond. But there was still something more fundamental to the nature of the Matrix that he was not yet grasping. And so he went to meet the Oracle, or bring him to the Oracle to find out whether or not he was the prophesied one, the chosen one that would deliver them. And he encountered a young boy who was bending spoons with his mind. And this boy invited Neo to join him in the exercise. And as he did this, he implored Neo to remember the truth. What was that truth? The truth was, there is no spoon. And he continued, it is not the spoon that bends. It is only yourself. As our mindful consciousness expands, we begin to see obstacles not only from different angles, but we realize that what we perceive and judge as obstacles only exist as such within our own mind. I'm going to say that again because I really want that to sink in. As our mindful consciousness expands, we begin to see all obstacles not only from different angles, but realize that what we perceive and judge as obstacles only exist as such in our mind. It is ourselves that must bend. And I'm actually not just inviting you to bend, but to expand. Now, I'm going to be real because I have to be very authentic about my life as an artist. And of course, there have been moments in my life where I wasn't creating or putting things out at the pace and proficiency that I wished. Or like when I'm writing a screenplay or lyrics, it's just stuck. It feels like nothing's working out. Even with music, there'd be periods of times, it could be months actually. Every time I pick up my guitar, there's just no spark to it, And so I do believe that's what most people would consider a creative block. You're trying to do something, it's just not happening. However, the aim is not to bend or break through that block, but to realize that that block doesn't exist. Actually gain a presence of understanding that you are simply experiencing a moment of what it is to create art. And yet, I totally get that I don't want to be stuck in that place forever. You actually want to do something. And so a lot of people will get bogged down, a lot of artists will get bogged down in there and then walk away from that project before they actually mine the riches that are awaiting them. So here are 3 things that I'm going to share with you that are not necessarily practical, one's semi-practical, but these are more like mindset and awareness shifts that I think will allow the problem in a sense to resolve itself. So, number 1, simply sit in that discomfort longer. Sit in it. And this is the transformational process that your art is having on you. Consider this like a meditation. To simply be present and observe not only your own feelings, but also observe your art. Allow the art to speak to you what it wants to say rather than you trying to impose your will upon it. Number 2, embrace absurdity. This is semi-practical because you can't actually do something physically with this, but if we are in fact dealing with this illusion that we are playing within, and this block does not actually exist, and the cosmic absurdity that you're putting so much importance, because we artists, we put our heart and our souls into our art. It can feel like life and death so often, but just step back and laugh at the absurdity of it and actually play with the absurdity of it. So for me, I write Gothic country music, and my music's actually quite subtle. So I can just go way over the top, exaggerate. I'm just in my room singing. Nobody needs to see this. I can do something super theatrical and just laugh and make something silly that I would never actually do. Or say you're writing a dialogue or you're acting, just go way over the top, because if you can laugh at yourself and you can laugh in the situation, that actually relaxes the mind, it relaxes yourself, and those new channels of creativity just start to open up. Number 3, give space. The brain is an amazing thing when we allow it to do what it does naturally, but we're so often just jamming it full of noise and distraction and information. But when we allow it to process things, it just does magical things. It does what it does. So go on a walk, take a shower, wash the dishes. Washing the dishes is actually a very meditative process for me. But actually put it aside, give it space to breathe. Now, of course, you don't want to walk away from this forever. So you're going to come back to it. You will come back to it. But it's remarkable how much problem solving and puzzle solving that the brain does in the background while you're doing other things. So you might just be washing the dishes and then boom, eureka. The moment hits you and you got to run and grab a piece of paper and write it down, or grab your voice memo on your phone because you don't want to lose that moment. So being a conscious creator means also having a broader understanding of where you are in this artistic process. And the fact is, when it comes to making anything of value in our lives at all, part of the process is moving through or around resistances. And I see too many artists give up because it's just too hard, or they hit a block. They are stuck trying to bend the spoon. There's literally an infinite number of ways that you and any artist can expand themselves consciously, curiously, and creatively. And I will make one note that if your block is actually on a technical issue, you have the internet at your disposal with an astonishing number of resources to learn the technical skill that you need to overcome. This isn't a creative block. This is just a refining of your skill, where you can learn everything you need to learn about lenses, microphones, lighting, fabrics, color theory, whatever it might be. And so that's just the process of you refining your craft, so to speak. So I just want to differentiate that a little bit. And even with that, you have a wealth before you waiting for you to step into and overcome that. So look at the world as an infinite wellspring of resources that is malleable through your awareness. And this infinite source is channeling through you, with you, for you, as you. So now, what's stopping you from making your masterpiece? Nothing. Thanks again, guys, for watching. I would love to know what part of this video that you found insightful or helpful. I would also love to know if there's anything in particular that you are wrestling with or thinking about as an artist you would like me to address or think about with you. Please leave that in the comments below, and I will maybe make a video about that in response. I would love to do that. And at this point, if I've provided any value or interesting entertainment to you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.